Hello, good people of YouTube. Sealord here, and we're going to start today's video off with a bit of a PSA. If you are looking to pick up some premium time, well, I have some good news for you. Wargaming is continuing their tradition of putting a year's worth of premium time on half-off sale around the Christmas New Year holidays this year, as they have in the past. So if you're looking for a year's worth of premium time, now's the time. You can get a year's worth for 12,000 dubs instead of 24,000 dubs, and premium time is one of the best, it's not one of the best, it is the best, the cheapest, the easiest and simplest way to ensure that you are making a profit when it comes to credits. I've done several videos on, how to min-max the economy, before the rework, after the rework, and in today's World of Warships, and premium time simply is the best way to ensure you are making profit. Again, I'm not saying it because Wargaming's paying me under the table. I wish they were, but they're not. It really is just the cheapest way. 12,000 dubs for a year worth of being able to make money without having to buy a new premium ship every couple of months, right? It's literally less than most premium ships are, right? So yeah, if you're looking for that, that is on sale in the Armory right now. You can pick that up today, at least at the time of recording. They normally leave this up, I think, for about a week or two, so typically it runs from about now, the week before Christmas through New Year's, and then it's gone for the rest of the year. They sometimes bring it back for the game's anniversary, but again, if you want it now, it is up now. So moving on to the main topic of today's video, we're discussing one of the most ridiculous, crazy, insane, goofy, dumb, stupid, just outright incomprehensible ships in the game, and that is the Tier 10 British Battlecruiser, the Incomparable, or as I like to call it, the Incomprehensible, because this is truly a stupid ship. There's so much about this ship that doesn't make any sense at all, yet it exists in game, right? And I know we've gotten some downright crazy ships this year, like the U4501 that can go, almost 40 knots underwater, but I still think this is, right up there with that ship, if not almost tied for levels of craziness. The U4501 just gets some more attention, right, because it's a submarine, but the Incomparable, things about this ship just don't make any sense, right? Now, you might be thinking, Sealord, why are you talking about the Incomparable right now? The ship's like a year old and such. Well, right now we have the Snowflake event going on, and many of you are probably starting to stack up quite a bit of steel at this point from all of your, tier 8 and above ships. And you might be getting to the point where you just might be able to afford a steel ship here pretty soon. And the Incomparable is one I would definitely highly recommend. It's a fun ship, it's stupid, it's dumb, it's still balanced in my opinion for reasons that we'll get into in this video, but it's a ship you definitely, I would think, want to consider. So we're going to talk about her today, talk about how she plays and all that jazz, and hopefully you'll be able to make a determination for yourself by the end of this video. So, the Incomparable, what is it? Is goofy is what it is. So it is a battle cruiser, which means it has, the typical wargaming battlecruiser formula. Her extremities can be overmatched by the common battleship caliber guns at her tier because they are 25 millimeters thick. If you don't know, the common extremities armor is 32 millimeters thick. With the way that the game works, that means you can bounce up to 459 millimeter guns. The 460 millimeter guns can go right through 32 millimeters of armor. So ships like, the Yami and, well, the Incomparable here can overmatch those ships' armors. But with the Incomparable's armor scheme, with that 25 millimeter bow and stern, you can pretty much be overmatched by most of the common battleship caliber guns at this tier, which means you eat quite a bit of damage there. And she also has quite the low HP pool, coming right in at 70,000 HP. That is like tier 9 battleship HP, if not tier 8, depending upon, again, what ship you're looking at. Most tier 10s have like 90,000 or 100,000 HP, so again, low tier 9, upper tier 8 battleship HP at that point. But that is, of course, the payoff for being a battle cruiser, and being a battle cruiser armed with 20-inch guns. You get 6 20-inch guns that are reasonably accurate from my experience, and again, you'll see it for yourself in the background. The shells, in most cases, go generally where you aim, and for like a 6-gun battleship, typically with something like the Shikishima, of course, the guns are very accurate, but those are 18-inch guns, and these are 20-inch guns. These are, literally the biggest battleship caliber guns in the game right now, right? So, yeah, it's reasonable that even though it's 6 guns, you get a little bit of shotgun dispersion here and there. Because really, you only need 1 or 2 shells from the Incomparable to hit, and you're doing pretty decent damage, right? And even with the range mod on, you still have a sub 30-second reload with these guns. I have the range mod on and I have a 28-second reload. If you want to put the range mod on, you can really start slinging some shells downrange quite fast. You get it down to, what's that, like 24, 23 seconds at that point, something ridiculous like that. Then, of course, with the way that the ship is armored, you're going to be eating damage, right? So your adrenaline rush is going to kick in, then your reload is going to get even lower, and then if it's kind of goofy with what you can do with the commander's skills now, right? So it's a very quick reload on 6 20-inch guns that can, of course, overmatch 32 millimeters of armor. There's not really much that 20-inch guns, bully that 18-inch can't, but of course the alpha damage is generally higher when we're talking about the 20-inch gun battleships. And speaking about alpha damage, with the 20-inch guns, you do get a maximum damage of 19,500. So again, keep in mind what I said a few seconds ago. You really only need 2 of these shells to connect, and you're doing easily like 15k, 16k damage. And when it comes to Citadel hits, if just 2 of these shells Citadel, that's literally 40,000 damage with just 2 shells connecting. Yeah. It really packs a punch. As far as the HE goes, you really don't need to use the HE ever, unless you only have DDs left alive on the enemy team, which, well, you'll see how this game goes, right? So really, just keep the AP loaded, and you're going to blow the crap out of everybody. And that's just the guns. We haven't talked about the rest of the ship. So she has, of course, weak armor, low HP, big old 20-inch guns that are pretty darn accurate, except every now and then you do get a bit of a shotgun salvo, and a pretty fast reload time, which helps, alleviate that shotgun problem, because sure, you might get a shotgun salvo every now and then, but it's a semi-auto shotgun and not a pump shotgun like other battleships. Where the goofiness really starts to come in is her maneuverability and her concealment. The ship goes 34.7 knots base, which is pretty darn fast. That is with the speed flag. But then consider that you can use the engine boost that it comes with, because it is, in fact, a battle cruiser, and unlike the Japanese battle cruisers, she is quite fast. You get an 8% boost for 180 seconds, which is quite nice when you need to, of course, reposition around the battlefield and such. And then her concealment is just absolutely ridiculous. I want you to look at how massive this ship is, right? This is not a small ship. Look how long this thing is. Look how much space there is between the number 1 and 2 and the number 3 turrets. There's a ton of space because it's a 1920s design, and there's just a ton of, like engineering space in between the 2 turrets. But the thing still, with a build on it, with the concealment module and the commander skill, has a 10.6 kilometer concealment. 10.6 kilometers. That on a battle cruiser, on what really is like a huge battleship, right? Like 10.6 kilometers. It's outclassing most of the heavy cruisers at tier 10. A ship with 20-inch guns that can go like 38, 39, 40 knots if you have brisk on, right? Think about that. That's insane. And there's still more to it. It gets hydroacoustic search, and you get 10-kilometer torps, which means you are very close to being able to stealth torp in the Incomparable. Because why not? And then she still has more to sport because she gets a super heal. Because the ship, even without even talking about her citadel, right? Like she has 25 millimeter bow and stern, she has 70,000 HP, which is quite bad. So you do have to give it some help there because her citadel is quite high and dry. Anything with slightly spicy AP that's bigger than like a light cruiser gun can very easily citadel the Incomparable if you aren't watching out. She is a very long ship, so she does have a large turning circle radius, and it does take her a second to start to turn. Yeah, 1160 meters is her turning circle. So even if you do see the shells coming in, again, with how long the ship is, you're probably going to get bit pretty good. So you do have to have some way to kind of negate that. And her heal is what they give you. The heal regenerates 1680 HP with the flag on for 22 seconds, and it cools down in 76 seconds. So that heal does definitely help you stay in the game, because there's been so many times where I've been playing the ship and you're not paying attention, you slip up for a second and some battleship across the map gets a salvo out on you and it takes away 2/3 of your ship's HP. So yeah, that heal is definitely helpful there. Now, it's not quite as good as like the Conqueror's heal, right? But it's definitely more than your average heal and way better than like the improved heals that some battleships get. So that's why I call it a super heal. And you definitely will be using it with this ship. And that's a big up when it comes to, again, those slip ups, or if you get in a situation where there's a light cruiser, it just farms the crap out of you. Because again, remember, 25 millimeter bow and stern, and most light cruisers at this tier are just eager to get their HE shells pinning over 32 millimeters of armor. So most of the light cruisers will be able to pin you outright, and just because it's tier 10, right? There's going to be a lot of ships that can just by base default pin 25 millimeters of armor with their HE. Now, big thing that has changed is that of course there are super ships in the game now, and there's more super ships in the game now than ever before, right? So that is a thing that you do have to contend with here with the Incomparable, because of course you've got like the Pottery now, and then we've got the Super Kremlin and the Devastation, and we're getting the Main here pretty soon. So ships that can very much have their way with you because of your thin armor scheme, and I mean it is something that you definitely have to look out for when you're getting up tier to their super ships games. But with everything that the Incomparable has, it's done really well. I mean, a lot of ships a year out from their release are usually power crept, or are definitely not in as good of a state as they were beforehand. And the Incomparable, thanks to just her craziness, is still very much a ship that is good at doing what it does, and that typically is running down a flank, just staying undetected and popping up 10 kilometers away from the enemy team. Because most ships, obviously, if they're being detected, they're going to assume it's like a light cruiser or a destroyer, and then you pop up with 20-inch guns 10 kilometers away from them. Yeah, and torpedoes to boot on top of that. And hydro, so you can detect their torpedoes if they want to throw torpedoes at you as well. So it's a ship that's done very well in her aging. Again, most other tech line ships, again, a year out, are kind of just like, it used to be good, but now, this got released and this got released, because Wargaming, man, they are just pumping out ship after ship, line after line, and they're trying to, one up the previous line that they just introduced, right? But, I mean, heck, the ship is a fun ship. Is it a competitive ship? I wouldn't say that. We have used it in clan battles beforehand, doing the whole just run down the flank, and then, you pop up on their side from 10 kilometers. And, that's pretty goofy, but it doesn't have the staying power of a battleship, right? Because it's a battlecruiser. That 70,000 HP and that 25 millimeter bow and stern section, that's only going to get you so far. And yes, you do have the super heal, but I mean, just having thick armor is going to get you much further than having a super heal, because armor's there all the time, right? The super heal it's only there until it's on cooldown, and then you use it again, then it's on cooldown again. And even though it's not a super long cooldown or anything, with again, the thin armor and the low HP of the Incomparable, you can't really do battleship things like you need battleships to do in things like, you know, COTS and clan battles. I mean, for like ranked, maybe with a smaller format, I think it would be pretty goofy. But this is a fun ship. It's a ship that, like, if I'm having an off day, I'll take it out into random battles, just, you know, do dumb, silly things with it. And it tends to work out more than it doesn't, from my experience at least, too. And, of course, she has hydroacoustic search, so dealing with submarines is much easier at this ship than in a lot of other battleships. Combine that with her speed and her ability to kind of just outrun most of the submarine torpedoes, or at least, you know, get it far enough away to where they'll run out of juice before they can get to you. It's a good ship and a good pickup in my opinion, especially again right now if you're collecting the steel from the Snowflake event. And again, the coupon for the steel ships did just reset not that long ago. So if you're looking for a fun random battleship, I would highly recommend the Incomparable. And yeah, go with her and have some fun and delete broadsiding cruisers from, you know, one shot with like 3 shells, because yeah, British. But anyway, guys, let me know what you guys think about the Incomparable in the comments down below. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to drop a like, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel. We're on our way to 75,000 subscribers. Thanks to you guys, and I cannot thank you guys enough for that. Hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday and wonderful rest of your week. Hope to catch you guys in the next one.